Although the space wars ended years ago, many nations on Earth have not wavered in the quest to be the dominant force in the Earth's orbit and outer space as a whole. The recent launch of the new Chinese space station proves just that. What could be their secret reason for this new launch? Is this to send a message to the United States and all other nations of the world? What does the future hold for the Chinese space exploration, and how will this affect the global power struggle? Keep watching this video till the end to find out. With the launch of the Wentian Lab module atop the Long March 5B rocket from the Wenchang Space Launch Site in South China to complete its Tiangong space station, China has accomplished another significant milestone. The second-to-last component of the Chinese space station, which is being built in low Earth orbit between 340 and 450 kilometers above the planet's surface, is the Wentian Lab module. 3 taikonauts are now staying on board the Tiangong space station after being delivered there during the Shenzhou 14 mission last month. The new Wentian module will serve as the scientific lab of the space station and will also provide the additional living space to accommodate more astronauts. Once the module's operational, the Chinese space station will be able to host up to 6 astronauts. Tiangong Space Station is being built on a modular design similar to the International Space Station, which is operated by the United States, Russia, Japan, Canada, and the European Space Agency. Tiangong is a Chinese word meaning heavenly palace. The station will consist of a core module named as Tian, attached to 2 laboratories, namely Wentian and Mingtian, with a combined weight of nearly 77 tons. The construction of Chinese space station is likely to be completed in 2022 with a full life of 10 years, which can be further extended to 15 years. It orbits Earth every 91 minutes. Though when completed it will be only 1/5 of the International Space Station, it is heavily equipped with the most advanced technologies that would provide China a strong foundation for another 15 years of space exploration. China has been working on the space station project for the last 30 years. In 2011, China launched Tiangong-1 Space Lab, which later hosted 3 astronauts in 2012 and 2013 for about 2 weeks. In 2016, China launched the Tiangong-2 Space Lab, followed by sending 3 astronauts to the lab for 3 months. Later on, Tianzhou-1 cargo spacecraft was launched carrying supplies to the space lab for a series of docking and refueling exercises. After gaining knowledge from these space missions, both Tiangong-1 and Tiangong-2 fell back to Earth, wherein the first made an uncontrolled entry into Earth in April of 2018, but the second made a smooth landing over the South Pacific in July 2018. A total of 11 missions have been planned to complete the construction of Tiangong Space Station. On April 29, 2021, China launched the first space station mission carrying the 54-feet-long core module of Tiangong Space Station called Tiane, meaning Harmony of Heavens, from the Hainan Island aboard a Long March 5B rocket. Tiane is about the size of a bus and has a weight of 25 tons, which makes it the biggest and heaviest spacecraft of China. It contains the station's living quarters and life support and control systems. Though during the launch, the gigantic core stage of the rocket weighing around 22 tons went out of control and splashed down a week later in the Indian Ocean. However, Tian successfully made it to orbit an hour and 13 minutes after launch. A month later, on May 29, 2021, second mission, namely Tianzhou-2 cargo mission, was launched aboard the Long March 7 rocket, carrying the logistic supplies to Tiangong Space Station for upcoming human guests. On June 17, 2021, the first crewed mission, Shenzhou-12 atop Long March 2F, was launched carrying 3 taikonauts. 3 months later, China's 3 astronauts returned home on board Shenzhou-12 spacecraft after spending 90 days aboard Tian module with 2 spacewalks and setting the national record for longest crewed spaceflight mission of China. The 4th space station mission, Tianzhou-3's cargo spacecraft, was launched aboard Long March 7 rocket, carrying supplies and spacewalk equipment. In October last year, the second manned mission to China's Tiangong space station was launched through Shenzhou-13 spacecraft atop Long March 2F carrier rocket. The crew consisted of 3 astronauts, including a female taikonaut, who was 41-year-old Wang Yaping, who became the first Chinese woman to spend 6 months in space. The 3rd Chinese manned mission to the space station, Shenzhou-14, was launched on June 5th this year, carrying 3 astronauts. One amongst the Shenzhou 14 crew members was the 44-year-old female taikonaut Liu Yang, who was the first Chinese woman who went to space in 2012 on board the Shenzhou 9 mission. Amongst the remaining 3 space station missions, the Shenzhou 15 manned mission is planned to take place in November this year, followed by the launch of the last Mingtian module and Tianzhou 5 cargo mission. The Chinese space station is powered by 2 steerable solar power arrays on each module of the station, featured gallium arsenide photovoltaic cells, which convert sunlight into electricity. The estimated life of solar arrays is 15 years. The station's powered by the batteries when it passes into the Earth's shadow. Tiangong space station is fitted with conventional chemical propulsion and 4 Hall-effect ion thrusters to maintain the station's orbit while countering the effects of atmospheric drag. A specially developed Chinese docking mechanism has also been installed on the space station, which is used by the cargo mission and Shenzhou spacecrafts. It's based on the Russian APAS system, which has compatibility with both current and future docking mechanisms on the International Space Station. The carrier vehicle of the new Wintian module mission is the 53-meter-tall Chinese Long March 5B heavy-lift rocket designed to launch cargo missions for the space station. The rocket has a mass of around 48,500 pounds. The same rocket was used for the launch of 54-foot-long Tiangong module of the station. In recent years, the new generation of Chinese launch vehicles, including LM-5, LM-6, LM-7, and LM-11, have made their maiden flights. LM-5 launch vehicle has LEO payload capacity of 25,000 kilograms and GTO payload capacity of 14,000 kilograms. Such developments have demonstrated China's increasing capabilities in accessing space. Astonishing Chinese advancement speed is much more visible in space. More than 40 years after the Soviet Union's Yuri Gagarin became the first human entered into space, China launched its first crewed mission to space in 2003. China's Mars mission was launched in 2020, almost 50 years later than the U.S. Mariner 9 probe flew past the Red Planet. But in the recent years, China is taking an unmatched lead into space with flying successful missions to the far side of the Moon and Mars, launching of heavy-lift rockets, expeditions, and construction of the Tiangong space station, and planned 2024 launch of the Chinese space station telescope named Zhutian, meaning survey the heavens. Fitted with a camera of 2.5 billion pixels, which will have a field of view 300 times greater than the 31-year-old Hubble Space Telescope. The wide field of view will allow the telescope to observe up to 40% of the sky over 10 years, and it will be able to periodically dock with the future crewed outpost of Chinese. With all these plans by the Chinese government, we will just have to wait and see how the future unveils in this brave new world.